Hi guys, so this quick video is about finding credible sources. You don't want to use crappy sources. You don't want to use unreliable sources because they will cause you to give a crappy, bad, incorrect presentation. So before you even begin researching anything, let's make sure we know what a credible source looks like. Through today's lesson, you'll be able to determine whether or not a source is credible and reliable. Just so we're all on the same page, I want to make sure you are familiar with the vocabulary. The three words: source, credible, and reliable. I'd like you to think about now, how familiar are you with this word? You can pause the video to fill this out. So you're probably pretty familiar with the word source. This is a place where information is obtained. So you could go to a book as a source for information. You could go to maybe a teacher as a source of information, or a friend. Credible. You have heard this earlier in the beginning of the year, but that means believable. And finally, reliable means trustworthy and dependable. So we really want to make sure that we have good sources, places where we get our information that are believable, trustworthy, dependable. So I'm going to give you a quick guide to finding credible and reliable sources. Now, this is going to be a really quick list, just a starting place, but be sure to pause the video and record notes as we go through. So we'll start with the don'ts. There are three of them. The first is never use personal blogs, YouTube, or Facebook, or Twitter, or Instagram. Often these are the person's personal opinion. They may contain incorrect facts or may just have a lot of bias in them. We don't want those. Pause and record. You also should never use Wikipedia as a source. Wikipedia is an open source website, so basically anyone can edit it. So here you'll see that I Googled John Legend, and anyone can actually go and edit any of this information. So you don't want to use Wikipedia as your source. Additionally, you never want to use ask.com or Yahoo questions. Again, anyone can write in answers, so you don't know if it's credible and reliable. As far as the do's, the things you do want to do when you're finding sources. You want to look for websites that end in .edu, .org, .gov. Usually this means they're connected to, if it's .edu, some kind of university or educational .edu website. .org usually means an organization, and .gov means the government. You should use Wikipedia to find a list of potential sources. So let me show you how to do that with John Legend. So if I'm looking at John Legend and I scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's actually this really long list of references. And these are really good places to click because they may lead you to good sources. And finally, you do want to use magazines and newspapers like the New York Times, the Atlantic, the San Francisco Chronicle. We're going to do some practice now. So if you flip over your paper, you'll see there's this scale. It goes from unreliable in the red to reliable in the green. You're going to place each source on the scale. So if it's reliable, put it over here. If it's unreliable, put it over here. After you place the source on the scale, you're going to explain why the source is unreliable or reliable. You must complete the second part. I'm going to show you. So I did my project on Melba Pattillo Beals. You all saw my source list already yesterday and looked at my research notes. So I'm going to choose this second source that I used in my research. So this source came from the University of Arkansas, and it's an article about Melba. Now I know this is a credible source. I didn't mean to cut it off, but I did because it's .edu. I know that this is in connection with a university, which is always a good sign. So I first placed the article, the source, onto the scale under reliable, and then I explained why the source was reliable. You should do this now with the following examples. Make sure to pause so you have time to write. Source 1. Source 2. Source 3. And source 4. Thanks for watching. Good luck finding sources. Please be sure to check in with Ms. Green if you're unsure about a source's credibility and reliability.